Hi, everyone. So just before we get started here, we'll give people a couple more minutes to attend. I know the roads out there are pretty hectic. So if you're fighting to get back home through traffic, make sure you drive safe, stay warm. It's quite cold out. And we'll start in about 2 minutes here. We'll just give people a couple more minutes. Awesome. So we'll get started here. I'm just going to share my screen for everyone. And make sure that that's good. Perfect. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Bryce Waters. I'm a product strategist here at SAIT, and I work within our continuing education department. So our programs are designed to help individuals gain professional skill sets to jump into new roles in technology or tech adjacent roles as well. We've got three slightly unrelated, but all very interesting courses and programs to talk about today here. A little bit of housekeeping as well. If you have any questions, as mentioned in the chat there, please drop them in the Q&A section, and we will address those as we get to the end. If you do have any other questions kind of throughout as well, I will do my best to monitor the chat at the same time. So please, use the Q&A function, and we'll come back to those. But if there's anything urgent, pop it in there. Wonderful. So yeah, thank you all for joining again. So what we'll do here is we're going to start off and do a quick little overview of what our micro-credentials are. I'm not sure if everyone's heard about micro-credentials, so I thought this might be a nice place for us to start. So SAIT now offers micro-credentials for the majority of our programs, and those in digital as well. What you'll see is the micro-credential is designed to help really showcase to future employers that you have a demonstrated skill set and competency in that skill set. So when we're looking at this from a conceptual level, you will need to achieve an 80% within the course to receive your micro-credential. But once you do, it is a badge a virtual badge that you'll post to your LinkedIn to showcase that you do have that competency. And it is industry recognized as being that kind of stamp for that particular skill set. So if let's take, we have ITBA as an example for one of our programs here today. When you finish an ITBA course and it's, let's say, the tools and techniques course, you receive that badge, and what that does is it really it gives the employer that confidence that maybe you don't have like a full business background or an IT background, but what you've done is you've learned that particular skill set and will be able to apply it on the job as soon as you start, with very minimal training on the employer's side. So it's a nice value add at the end of the day as well. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, the requirement is 80% grade within the course to receive that micro-credential. Wonderful. So now that we've covered micro-credentials there, let's jump into our IT Business Analysis Certificate of Achievement. This is a redeveloped program for us here at SAIT. It used to be a very different kind of delivery method for the course in the program, and we've streamlined it to be those skill sets that are very much required for individuals that want to become a BA in the future. For those of you that don't know exactly what a BA is, a business analyst is somebody that works on project deliveries and projects in general within fairly large organizations, anywhere from mid-size to enterprise level organizations. And their role is really to spread let me see if I'm wording this correctly. So they help organizations succeed in their project deliverables by speaking the language of both a technical person and a non-technical person and translating that in between. So they go out to the business units, whether that could be HR, it could be IT, could be procurement or finance, identifies what the needs are of that particular business unit when it comes to a new tool or application that a company is looking to build to support that group. So identifies what all their requirements are for that technology and that tool, comes back to the IT department and relays that back in more technical terms. so that the IT department can build that solution for the end clients. It is a very communication-focused role, and we like to think of it as technology adjacent. So you don't need to be a subject matter expert in any sort of technology, just to be able to, logically think through how technology works, and then be able to communicate that back and forth between a technical team and a non-technical team. Our particular program is built of 4 key courses: MGMT 020, so the Essentials 1 course, an Essentials 2 course, Tools and Techniques specific course to really give you that opportunity to explore some of the tools that you'll be using on the daily as a business analyst within an organization, and then the Integrated BA, or how a business analyst integrates within different teams and supports the business units that way. So we think of this as the first 2 courses in the program, MGMT 020 and 021, are those foundational fundamental courses that will give you an overview of what is a business analyst in the overall, how do they function, and what types of tasks you'll be doing on the daily to provide support to your business units and your IT department. These are the only 2 that do have a prerequisite requirement, whereas 021 does require you to take 020 before you take 021. Past that point, you can take 022 or 023 at any time, whatever you're looking for your skill set. It's just that 020 to 021 requirement that is there. The main focus of our particular program is on information technology business analysts. So with that focus on technology, they do cover topics in the software development lifecycle. So how you plan out your software development build to build an application, implementing agile project management practices. So you're all ready to integrate into those organizations that have adopted agile methodologies. And we explain what agile is and what other types of methodologies that it replaces in other business units. So if you jump into an organization that hasn't quite adopted that yet, you still understand how they work and flow and can seamlessly fit into their teams. From there, we talk about requirements gathering and analysis of those requirements, prioritization as well, to make sure that your project manager and your team that's building the tool are able to adapt accordingly to your priorities. Change management, which is something that's incredibly important in all organizations, especially if you are changing practices and procedures for different groups that are used to a specific standard. And then the tools and techniques and how you integrate into those business units. So that's kind of just a quick overview of the certificate itself. I will showcase the pages in a moment here for the website itself, and I believe they're being dropped in the chat there too. So please take a look at the link itself as well. But on to the next section, or the next little piece here for ITBA. So some of the key learning outcomes of the certificate itself, you are looking at traversing different diverse technology case studies. So one of the main focuses and value adds of coming to SAIT versus other institutions is we really do focus on the practical applications of the concepts we're teaching. So how you're applying those to real life problems and real life projects, and bringing that back so you can use that example from your class as an example when you are interviewing. It becomes a part of your portfolio, as it were, and a real life example that you can take back to them of how you've applied the concepts for being a business analyst to a mock role of a business analyst within a safe space, to challenge yourself and adapt and learn along the way. So all of our courses do come with that case study that's threaded throughout the course. So you're constantly applying concepts, working with tools to solve that problem and create full strategies that a business analyst would do on the job. One of the main focuses here as well is really exploring necessary tools to help you plan, implement projects, and manage your stakeholders. As I mentioned first off there, business analysts are that liaison between different groups. So being able to really play that empathetic ear to understand what your users and your end users in your business units really do need. They might tell you one pain point, but it might be they need something that's similar, but a little bit adjacent. And so it's being able to ask the right questions to get down to the nitty-gritty of what they actually need to make their lives and jobs easier. And then being able to relay that back to your IT stakeholders that will actually develop the application for you. Or potentially even a procurement team that's looking for a solution that you can purchase and implement directly within the business. The next kind of sections here as we're moving through that. So the foundational pieces really teaches you that initial what is a BA and how to navigate implementing projects and managing the tools and being able to communicate with your stakeholders. As we move into the tools and techniques category, you will start to build a business case around what you're looking to do, create user journeys, journey maps, and then also create some prototypes within Figma. Figma is a tool that a lot of designers and developers use to format and kind of create the foundation of what a web page will look like, or an application on your phone as well. So you get some hands-on experience with that design tool. Then you're going to work through capturing and communicating different business needs by prioritizing those examples of issues that people are having or problems that they're having that you need a solution for, prioritizing that within a journey, and then validating different requirements with them and with the IT department about what is actually feasible for you to do. From there, you will also play that key role of recommending the right solutions. So you'll be working with your procurement team on which solution is the right one to bring in to solve those problems for your business units. You'll be working with the IT department as well on making sure that the solution they're building is viable. And then from there as well, continuing on to monitor and control any changes that do happen within projects. Oftentimes, if you come from a corporate world already, you'll be well aware that there's project scope that takes place quite regularly where projects become are much larger than what you anticipated. And being able to navigate that and make sure that you're still working within your scope as much as you can is a key skill set you'll learn as a BA within our fourth course there. It was MGMT 023. So now on to the question that most people have as well. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the overall course fee if you were to complete the full certificate, and then talk through also what each individual course fee is. So the course fee for the full certificate, as you add all four courses together, ends up being $39.20. So that includes the cost of the course as well as the $10 technology fee for each individual course. In order to move through each course stack, as I mentioned, each of the courses do come with a micro credential. So if you achieve that 80% average, you receive that badge. One of the nice things about that is that you can take a course here and there, and you have a total of 3 years to complete the full certificate. So if you're looking at jumping into a BA role and you don't have any prior experience, taking the first course and potentially the second course as well really does give you that foundational knowledge you need to jump into a junior BA role. And the nice thing about that is instead of having to go for the full certificate up front, you're able to take 1 or 2 courses here and there and showcase to an employer that you have that competency already by showing them that badge that you received from the micro credential. So it gives you the flexibility to take either the full certificate or the individual courses as they come up and what best fits your augments your skill set, as it were. At the link here is the certificate page itself that is pasted in the chat there, so you can jump directly to it from the chat room as well. And that's just a quick overview of ITBA. What I will do as well is if you have any questions as we continue on past this point and we still have some time, I'm going to jump over to the Con Ed website and kind of run through each course in a bit more detail if we do have time there. For the breakdown of costs for each individual course, though, the first 2 foundational courses do run $975 per course. And then the following 2 courses run $965 per course. So you're looking at just under $1,000 per course for each of those offerings. So now on to the next course of interest here. So our next course is a new build for us here as well. And it does bridge on one of the other certificates that we have currently in our portfolios. ITSC C009 is our Cybersecurity Plus offering. If you're looking to jump into cybersecurity and you have a foundational knowledge in IT already, if you come from a desk side support lens, a networking lens, and have some experience with networking systems, this is a great certificate to showcase to your current employer or future employers that you have a really strong foundational knowledge of cybersecurity best practices and how to implement those when you're on the job. This course is built off of built to allow you to challenge a very specific certification exam that's globally recognized as that gold standard entry cybersecurity certification. So within our course here at SAIT, you do receive that micro-credential badge at the end for completing the course. The course is structured off of an organization called CompTIA, their Security Plus certification. If you're to look up Security Plus for some knowledge there, it is that global standard for that foundational cybersecurity professional. And it does give you that leg up over the competition that have gone through other cybersecurity programs, because it does showcase that you have a very large breadth of knowledge in cybersecurity already, and fairly general across the board for different types of skill sets within the discipline. And that you've been able to challenge that recognized exam. For instance, most government organizations and enterprise level organizations do require you to have a certification in Security Plus, or a few competitors there too. So we are setting up for success to succeed in gaining that job placement post completion of the course itself. So the course is designed to be a preparatory course to set you up for success in challenging the CompTIA exam. From the course, you receive the micro-credential badge, and then you would go and challenge the CompTIA exam directly. You don't necessarily need to challenge the exam. You can just stick with the micro-credential badge, because it is modeled directly off of what is covered in the exam itself. It is that value add if you decide to go that route upon completion of the course. From here, a few of the key learning outcomes of the Security Plus course is to be able to describe general security concepts, manage secure networks, define network security architecture and design, analyze the different identity and access management systems and operations, develop organizational security plans, and describe different cryptography methods and planning. So really, it is full life cycle cybersecurity practices that you're learning in that foundational lens. What we've done is this particular program builds on some foundational knowledge that you learn within SAIT's CMPN 109 course, which is our Network Plus in-depth course. The Network Plus course is also based off of a CompTIA Network Plus certification. So it really does give you that gold standard again in certification practices and knowledge to be able to challenge those exams. So one of the things that we really do look for in students that are coming into this particular program is a desire to learn is one of the key pieces, and it really does help to have some foundational knowledge in IT. CompTIA specifically also does recommend, and these are just recommendations, so it's not a necessary requirement, but a high recommendation that you do as an individual have 1 to 2 years of IT experience, specific or hopefully in networking. So if you do come from that desk side role and are used to supporting end users in solving their IT problems, or have some network experience, even if it's homegrown, that'll still work okay as a foundational piece to enter into this micro-credentialed course. And so also, if you haven't quite have that experience under your belt, we do have an IT technician program that is a great bridging stone from that foundational knowledge up into the networking experience that would then lead into this Cybersecurity Plus offering. When we're looking at timelines for the different programs, sorry, I should have mentioned this at the beginning for ITBA. You're looking at I believe it's 48 hours for each of the courses going forward, and they're usually offered once or twice a week, and evenings and weekend, or evenings particular for ITBA. So you're looking at anywhere from, it's usually 6 to 9 in the evenings, 1 night a week or 2 nights a week, depending on the schedule of the particular section that we have posted. And they're all available on our ConEd website as well for the particular sections themselves. For this particular course, the Cybersecurity Plus, what we're looking at for the delivery itself. So once you've qualified yourself that this is what you're looking to do, you want to get into cybersecurity, you've heard some really great things, and you have some IT experience as a little backup. The course itself does run Tuesday, Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m., as well as Saturdays from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. That's usually how we run them. Sometimes the Saturday sessions will run in the evenings, depending on availability for that section. So it is a bit more of a commitment every week, but you're looking at a couple months worth of commitment for that time frame. So nothing too substantial, but it does really set you up for that gold standard certification. The cost and fee for this particular program does run $19.50, and it is very competitively priced in comparison to other offerings of a Security Plus designation. This price will most likely increase over the next year or so. The reason we're coming in here is to make it very accessible for individuals that are looking to jump into cybersecurity and are really struggling with identifying where to go to make that next step. So we want to make sure it is priced accordingly to make sure people have access to a program like this. And as mentioned, for junior IT professionals looking to make that jump into cybersecurity. Now, the last program that we have to talk about here is one of our boot camp programs. So the Software Development Experience Accelerator is designed to accelerate individuals' careers in software development. We're looking for people that do come from a software development background. Usually we request that they have some experience with React, as most of the clients that we work with in the Capstone project do use a JavaScript and React framework for the builds. But it's not necessary to have React. It's a strong value add and will make you more successful when you are working through the project. So the Experience Accelerator, just that. We're looking to accelerate your experience in software development, making it easier for you to also jump from that junior level position to an intermediate level software developer position. The program spans 9 weeks overall, and you come in at a point where there's a capstone intersection between a few different boot camps. So what we've done is we've stacked this boot camp with a few different ones, and we'll go into that in a little bit here as we move through this section of the presentation. But the key of this particular program is to add onto your portfolio with more project-based experience. So the main focus is less so on doing specific coding on the ground and coding, creating the functionality of the software, and more so being able to articulate and provide guidance to clients on what the best technology stack is to use to build the functionality they're looking to develop, as well as what libraries and how to implement it successfully. So you're really acting as that kind of guiding factor consultancy, right? Providing them that impactful knowledge they need to go out and actually build the tool itself. It also helps you really develop that skill set of going from coding consistently all the time, and that's what you're doing, solving those coding problems, to how do you conceptually find your way through problems and identify the best course of action to solve that problem. What you'll learn throughout this and the skills you'll build is the teamwork, communication, conflict resolution, public speaking skills as well, and then a few more technical skills in sprint progression and recommending different editions and weekly presentations, as well as working with your capstone partners within a classroom setting and being able to also relay all of this information and how you've solved these conflicts and problems to future employers too. We're really focused on giving you that Canadian experience when working with a real client. So some of the outcomes here, we'll touch base on this loosely. As I mentioned before, the main focus is being able to work through a software project and implement different procedures and really focus on your critical thinking abilities. So you will work with real product teams when you're working in this capstone project over this 9 weeks. I'll jump into that in a little bit here as well. You will work on deploying code fractions into using version control systems for the project, collaborating with different teams using version control, and specifically recommending those technical aspects of software development within your multidisciplinary team, as well as to your client at the end of the day. You are going to be using agile methodologies as things do shift quite rapidly within the capstone on different directions that you're taking for the final solution and product that the teams are putting forward. And you're going to demonstrate how design can be implemented using software dependencies. As mentioned, the main kind of focus here is how do you think critically around the problem and provide guidance for your team as well as for the clients at the end of the day so they can go forward and build the solution. Depending on where you come into the capstone project, there are various levels of clients of where they are in their own progression of their business. Some companies will start off as startup companies that come to us. Some will be mid-sized companies, whether they're looking to build a product from scratch or just add an extra feature onto that product. Also kind of determines your impact on the project and what you'll be required to do. So some projects that are more established and already have a framework, you might be doing more coding as well from the ground up and actually doing some hand-on coding. Some of those more or less established companies that are coming here here, you will be doing a lot more of that upfront planning and prioritizing how they'll be building the software, as well as recommending the tools and tips and tricks to use to build it. So the experience, as mentioned, this is a 9-week program here. This course is scheduled to run from March 2nd to March 9th. So it is that, May 9th is that 9-week program. Class times, similar to the IT security course that we have here. It does run Tuesday and Thursday evenings. However, instead of 6 to 9, this is 6 to 8 p.m. for this boot camp, as well as Saturdays from 9 to 12 p.m. As well, there are 5 sessions that run throughout this period on Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m., which do provide you with some career support to leverage when it comes to finding a job in software development. All of the courses I have mentioned also from the beginning do run virtually in a synchronous modality. So you're sitting on your computer and working with individuals over Zoom, such as we're doing right now. So it's nice because we try to make sure that it is accessible for people. So if you're finishing work, trying to run home, look after the kids and whatnot, you've got that ability to jump on Zoom and participate still without having to worry about dropping your other responsibilities. For this bootcamp, as I mentioned, you are working with a few different members in the Capstone project. We're looking at a multidisciplinary product team. So when we're joining the software developers to that intersection, as a software developer, you'll be working with a product manager, product marketer, and UX designer. What we're trying to emulate here is what on-the-job work experience you'd receive when you're working with an actual organization, and you have to touch base with these various members in order to produce that product that people will buy, and you'll be able to support going forward. So you join them after they finish their lecture components, and you start out working on that capstone project itself. So this is just the capstone experience. There's no lecture component that follows suit ahead of time. For that capstone project, working in a team, you will be working with 1 or 2 product managers, 1 or 2 UX designers, and depending on what your project needs, potentially a product marketer as well. Over that 9 weeks, when you get to the 6-week mark, that's where the other teams, the UX designers and product managers, have designed a Figma file, which will showcase your minimal viable product that your client is looking to build. And then from over that course of that preceding weeks up to that 6-week point, you will be providing guidance along the way about what is feasible for that product. What type of challenges you might run into if you're trying to create certain functionality that might be challenging to build and to really emulate in a software tool, and what best practices are so that your design can fit what's feasible for your average software developer to build. Once you get to that product showcase, that's a chance for you and the team to showcase the work that you've done up to this point and present out to industry parties. So we do a full presentation on site here at SAIT with all of the students, the capstone clients that are involved, instructors, and we invite industry parties to join us. So over the last couple presentations, we've had WestJet, ATB, TD, and a few other organizations as well from the Calgary ecosystem come and join us to look at the different talent that's coming out of the boot camps and see just how much our students can accomplish within this very short period of time. So it's definitely an exciting time to come join and to work through that project as well. Post that presentation, so after 6 weeks, at this point here, you're working on really finalizing your plans over the next 3 weeks on what your recommendations are to the end client and going forward with those recommendations. In this period as well, depending on how fleshed out the idea is of the project you've been working on and the Figma files associated with that, you will get the chance to do some hands-on coding to create that functionality for the clients as well. So it does give you more chances, a larger chance to work on those particular problems and create those your GitHub repository solutions to showcase in interviews going forward as well. So it is a very robust project. The capstone clients, I believe I mentioned, but just to clarify as well, come from startup lenses as well as mid-size organizations, and they are local Calgary-based clients. So we're sourcing straight from the Calgary ecosystem, which does give you that experience here in Calgary, but also the ability to take those examples and those networking experiences you have from those clients into your future interviews, and you can use them as references and even jumping points. We've had individuals that have been hired on by these companies, as well as found work through referrals from their clients. So things to keep in mind there too. Going forward into this capstone project, so I mentioned about the cross-functional team you're working on. working with the different groups there as well. Technical development will start in that last 3 weeks if you have the time and capacity to do hands-on development. And as I've mentioned a couple of times here, but just to reiterate, completion of a full software product, like a functioning product, is not the goal of the program. The program is really to understand how you're allocating your time, your resources, and how you're creating really strong, powerful recommendations for your client to take away to build the tool in the future. So we like to think of this particular program as a consultancy of sort. You're going out there, identifying what the problems are, and coming up with the best solutions for those people to enact and to implement in order to make their dreams and their goal or their products successful. Now, for the career support piece as well, my apologies, it says 3 Wednesday sessions here. It is 5 Wednesday sessions. For the Wednesday sessions for career support, you're meeting with our community and careers team. They are on the ground here in Calgary and have their hands on the pulse of all of the different organizations that are hiring in IT here. This is something that's provided in all of our boot camps, but only for our boot camps. So you do have those 5 sessions that will provide you with information on best practices when applying to jobs here in Calgary. And when that comes to resume building, cover letter building, interview skills, as well as creating an appropriate LinkedIn profile, and how to really showcase the skills that you bring to the table that set you apart from your competition when you're applying for roles. Past those 5 sessions, our team is available for you to work with directly. And it's 2 team members right now, so it is a fairly intimate group when you're working directly with them. You get a lot of hands-on support there. So Sarah and Arlene will schedule one-on-one sessions with you, and I definitely recommend if you take the program to utilize those sessions. And what you get out of that is that one-on-one contact to really help you also identify the best way to interview when you're sitting down with an interviewer. So how to really showcase the stories that you have to tell that show to the employer that you have that demonstrated experience from the past and are able to jump right onto the job and start to hit the ground running once you're hired by them. And they do follow you and support you until you do land a job in the role. So most individuals that take our boot camps, we find that most people do find work within their desired field within 3 to 6 months post completion of this particular program. And anytime even past 3 to 6 months, my apologies. And even past that 6-month point, if you're still looking for work or you're just not sure of the job that you found, if it's the right one for you, Sarah will still be available to connect with to help you find that role that works for you. Now, the course fees and the link for this particular program. For the software developer program, because it is solely the capstone project that you're working on, the fees are a little bit more reduced from our other boot camps. You're looking at $10.60 as the fee to participate. And this boot camp is directed at those junior developers that have either just finished a boot camp program or gone through a diploma program, currently working as a junior developer, but are struggling to jump into that intermediate roles. It's for those individuals that are looking to really gain that strong experience in how to work within a project mindset and understand the complexities of a software build and working within that product team. So that's who it's geared towards on that side there. And I want to make sure I've hit everything on the head here. Oh, one thing I forgot to include here, and I forgot to mention on the slide deck here, so apologies for that. But we have partnered for our bootcamp program, so this software development program, with an organization here in Calgary by the name of CITI, CITI. It's Careers in Technology and Innovation. When you complete a bootcamp program with us, it doesn't matter which bootcamp, you are eligible for 6 months free of admission into their program and into their organization. So CITI is a community-based program here in Calgary, and they have a few other satellite groups across Canada, but they are that community hub for individuals to come together when you're looking for work within IT, to meet like-minded people, to gain industry connections, tour different office organizations, and kind of get your foot in the door there. They have also they also have access to quite a few different jobs that are not posted externally onto most job boards, kind of that word of mouth recruitment that can happen within the industry itself too. So it is a great resource to take advantage of. They also work on how to create and express your personal brand to make yourself more marketable as a professional to organizations. And gives you more project-based experiences. You can work together with other people within that community to build projects and to solve problems for other users as well. So it's a nice value add on top of participating in the bootcamp and getting the in-bootcamp experience with that capstone project. And that brings me to the end of my presentation here today. We only had the 3 things to run through, which means that we have quite a lot of time for questions. So what I'll do here, oh yeah, and sorry, thank you, State, for dropping that in the chat as well. If you do have particular questions on the programs and if they're the right fit for you, please do reach out directly to our advising team. They're a fantastic resource to help direct you to the right program that will work for your needs, both what your existing skill sets are and the direction you're looking to join. To get into technology. They also have access to a new tool that we've built, which is called My Career Pathways. My Career Pathways is a tool that will allow you, with the help of an advisor, to submit your resume into the tool. And what it'll do is it'll scrub it for your existing skills and then match that up with particular job titles. So you can see how much your existing skills, if you come from, let's say, a retail background or working within the serving industry even, how your skills of your soft skills working with people will transfer over into a technology-based role. We do have other programs that fit kind of that space there. Having said that, all of our programs, not just the ones we've talked about today, these ones are a bit more niche, do require a bit more experience. And cybersecurity and software development require a bit more IT experience to start, but the majority of our programs don't. So you can have tech adjacent programs like the ITBA program we've talked about first thing here, as well as other programs like customer success, and even technical programs like UX user experience design, as well as RPA programming that don't require any foundational IT experience to jump in and be successful and land work as those professionals. Thank you for dropping in the chat there. My Career Pathways, definitely recommend checking that out, as it is a great resource for you on your learning journey and to help really plan your pathways to your career. I think I've covered the majority of items here, but I'm happy to answer any questions that people might have that are still here in the chat. I'm just going to run through the chat itself. Let me see if the Q&A's got anything in there as well for us. It doesn't look like anything open right now. Awesome. Thank you for answering the question for what does BA stand for. Let me run back here really quick. What I'll do now is I'm going to share my screen to show you what our website looks like and where you can find a few of these key resources. And while we're there, I'll also showcase just quickly the CompTIA website so you can do some research on that as well if you're interested in cybersecurity. So to start us off here, let me just share my screen. Sorry, bear with me here. Running into a little technical difficulties with Zoom. Awesome. So here what we'll do is we're going to share a little bit of information. So we've got the IT business analysis courses. There's 4 of them in total, and there are courses that are open to register here in the next month. So the Essentials 1 course opens on February 1st for the next offering and does run Tuesday, Thursday, so 2 times a week in the afternoon, this particular course, but online synchronous. So you're able to apply directly on here. You go to add it to cart, and then continue on through the process. And the website, you can find these particular courses in our ConEd website. So it's coned.sate.ca. From there, you continue on through the stream. So you've got your secondary course there, 021, and on past that point too. So 021 is the only one that does have that prerequisite for 020. So make sure if you're interested in ITBA that you start off with that first one and work your way through. But then from the first one, you can pivot into the other 2 options if you like. They will be offered in our spring and summer cohorts, terms. So we're looking at that April start to end of the summer, which is in August. So look back here for a few more options to jump into these courses as well. Cybersecurity. Currently, the last course was scheduled to run last week, so the next offering will be posted on our website here. Please do check back. We'll be looking at a start probably mid-April. Our team is just putting that up onto the website, so it should be up in there in the next few days. And then to make sure I've got the right stuff here. Sorry, my screen is just doing a little bit of a kerfuffle here. Bear with me. And I'm going to pop this back up here. Just changing monitors here to make it a bit easier. There we go. Awesome. So yeah, so please do check back here if you're interested in cybersecurity. As mentioned, it is that precursor to the CompTIA particular certificate, Security Plus, which you can find information of at the CompTIA website here if you're interested in doing a bit more digging into the certificate itself. I will drop this in the chat here for your records to do a quick search. And then the last program we talked about, Digi024, our software development experience accelerator. This one, as mentioned, runs March 2nd, May 9th. We do offer this course every term. So the next offering will start mid-summer when those other boot camps have their intersection, and then run till about the end of September. And then in the fall term, we'll also have one that runs mid-fall till the end of December, beginning of January for that one. So do take a look back. If the timing just doesn't work for you, that's not a problem. And the last piece that I will mention as well is we do have currently, I believe, still some bursaries left available. So if you are interested in taking a course this winter term, please do check into our bursary options, which will cover the full cost of a course if you show a demonstrated financial constraint or some financial need in order to be able to take a program. So there is a form to fill out for that. And our Con Ed advising team, so the email address that was popped into the chat earlier for our advisors, they'll be able to provide you with that document if you are interested in applying for a bursary as well. And on the note of funding, if you are a previous SAIT grad, so if you have come through one of the diploma programs or one of the bachelor's programs or even one of our continuing education certificates, so if you do have a Con Ed certificate, not an individual course, but the full certificate, you are eligible for the Level Up Award. And the Level Up Award through SAIT.ca is a 70% discount to any continuing education course that you apply to. The way that it works is it's one continuing education course per year. You're eligible for that discount. So if you are a SAIT alumni, definitely recommend looking at that as an option as well to support yourself financially for funding. Perfect. And I believe there's one more question here for in the Q&A. Which other courses aside from ITBA can a project management professional transit easily? Perfect. So if you are a project management professional, and I'm going to assume working within an IT discipline too, please correct me if I'm wrong there though. So if you're, actually it's not really super relevant if you work with an IT before or not. So if you're looking to transition kind of quickly with just picking up another kind of skill set that you can augment and really leverage your project management experience, look into the product management program. So it's another boot camp we have. Honestly, though, like it really depends on what you're looking for. So if you're looking for something to be a bit more, maybe like a role that will fit very seamlessly with your project management experience, the product management bootcamp is very similar. It is a slightly different focus, but it utilizes a lot of the same skill sets around organization, planning, and being able to really influence how your project or your product is moving across the finish line. If you're looking for something a bit more creative and you really want to flex those creative muscles around design, check out the UX bootcamp. And we do have graphic design certificates as well to kind of help give you some more of those on the ground, physically designing images and that sort of thing. If you're looking for something that's maybe a bit more logic-based and more technical, we do have a data science certificate that you can explore too. So it is designed to take somebody that doesn't have any real data experience in the past or any real IT experience and get that foundation in how to work as a data engineer. So you're starting off as a data analyst as you work through it and building on that skill set to be able to manipulate data and work towards a data engineer role in the future. If you're a project management professional, that would also give you the opportunity to become a project manager, but with that focus of that background of data, right? So it gives you the ability to speak that language fairly readily and easily. So it really depends on where you see are what skills that you really enjoy using and what type of work you think you'd receive or you'd have the most fun and get the most out of, most rewarding. Awesome. And so it looks like we might be out of questions at the moment here. What I'll do is I'll stay on for another 5 minutes or so here to answer any other questions that might pop up in the meantime. Otherwise, thank you all for joining us. It was a pleasure to chat with you here today. Look forward to seeing you in class. And if you have any more questions, please reach out either directly to myself, and I'll share that directly here really quick here, my contact info. So please reach out directly to myself or to our advising team as well. We can help put you in the right direction and sort out any questions you might have. Thank you.